What's going on? Jake here with Uncommon EDC, and in this video I'm going to be sharing a haul from my recent CountyComm order. If you're not familiar with CountyComm, they do a lot of government bids for random projects and products for a lot of military but random organizations as well, and when they have stuff that they think will be interesting, they'll make more of it so that they can sell it on their website to anyone who wants it. They also make stuff just for their website outside of government bids, but a lot of the stuff originates from, they had a bid on this and they made it and they think you'd like it. So they've been around since 1991, as you can see there, founded 1991. I've been ordering from them for probably 10 to 15 years at this point. So when I started my YouTube channel, that was one of the first websites I checked if they had an affiliate program, just because I'm always buying stuff from them and really big fan of their stuff. And so at the time they either didn't or it wasn't open for applications. But every time I'd order, I would check. And finally this time when I ordered, there was a affiliate link at the bottom. If you're into YouTube or do affiliate links, always check the bottom of the website. They'll have something about affiliates or ambassadors or partners if they have an affiliate program. So a good place to start. You can always reach out to them as well, but I like to start just by searching the bottom of the website. So they had it. Obviously, if you've seen the community post, I was approved. Super excited about that because, again, I've been shopping with them forever. And what that means for you is that I do have a link in the description that if you buy anything, it will help out the channel at no additional cost to you. But more importantly, I got a coupon code. I believe it's Uncommon EDC, all one word, all caps. I'll put it in the description so you don't have to write it down or anything. You can just copy and paste it. But we'll save you 10%. And the nice thing about that is they do coupon codes every once in a while. Usually after you've already ordered, they include one in your order, which is like, okay, I could have used this before the order, but it gives you a code for your next order, which is really nice. The only problem is a lot of times those expire at the 30-day mark or at the end of that month. And so you get it, you kind of have a deadline, you've already ordered what you want, and so it ends up expiring without ever getting used. And so a nice thing about mine is that it won't expire on you. You can just write it down and use it whenever you do an order there. But with all that being said, let's get into what I ordered. And again, this is stuff I ordered before I knew I was going to be an affiliate. I checked after doing the order, but would have ordered anyway. So starting with this Adventure CC swag key, this is kind of one of those add-on items that you add at the last second. Costs 95 cents, so really not going to make a big dent in your wallet. And just a basic key tag that looks like those hotel tags that they'll put on their keys to keep track of them, or like motel more like nowadays, because you usually get those cards, but kind of reminiscent of that. Really nice bright orange, has quality not compromised, their logo, founded 1991 on the front, and on the back it has this really tiny topo pattern, which is cool looking. Nice thing about it is that it's in bright orange. It doesn't come in any other colors right now, but that bright orange means that if you drop it in grass, in bushes, and dirt on the road, it's going to be easy to spot, especially if you didn't notice you're 10, 15 feet away and you're like, where are my keys? You should be able to spot this from further away. It's not going to blend in because it's that bright orange, but going to kind of go cheapest to most expensive. Only ordered 4 items, so hopefully I'll be able to keep this somewhat succinct and short, but we're already at 3.5 minutes, so who knows. But next up is the Isotherm Trident Knit Beanie, and this was on sale for $6.95. I think they're trying to clear them out, obviously, as the season starts to warm up. The seasons are changing, it's starting to warm up. Really soft and comfortable, really warm material, and it said it was a synthetic blend of polyester lycra. And so, like I said, it feels really good. It's thicker and super soft, and so I was really impressed with this. If I do another order before these sell out, I may add some other colors. They had black, gray, and orange aside from this green color, and at only $6.95. Seems like a pretty good deal. I wear beanies every once in a while, especially obviously when it's cold, but cool beanie there. Now next up was the item that kind of got me on the website. I had gotten either an email or an Instagram post, I don't remember, for the Pry X Titanium Gentleman's Multi-Tool for $25. And they have a point system, I happen to have $25 off, and so this is pretty much free, although not really because I had to do a bunch of orders to get there, but pretty much free this time. And this is basically just a pry bar, 4 inches long by 1 inches wide. They call it a multi-tool. The only other function is this can opener or bottle opener. It's not a can opener, it's not sharp enough, but a bottle opener. You can use the pry tip for several things. It's nice for like the base plate of cameras, turning screws on that, flathead screws, scraping and prying, really light stuff because of the size. but decent size and looks good. This honeycomb pattern also is titanium, so I do plan on trying to anodize this. I'm not an expert on it, but I've definitely done some anodizing. I only know how to do it with flames, not the electric. I haven't gotten that far into it, but if you are going to do it with a heat anodization, I would say a couple tips. One is to make sure to wipe off any oils from your fingers. So if you handled this and are gonna anodize it, make sure to clean it off really nicely, get it nice and dry, and don't touch it with your fingers again, because the spots with the oils are gonna color differently than the rest. And so it'll just kind of mess up the final outcome. The other thing I would say is keep it further away from the flames than you would think. When I first tried it, I was having a hard time controlling the colors, and that's because I wanted to heat it up as fast as possible, was putting it right in front of that torch, and it would get cherry red. You couldn't tell what color it was until it cooled off a little bit, and really just kind of lost control of what I was doing, so it would be splotchy. And I got a couple of tips in the comment section of one of my videos to hold it further from the flame, and ever since then it's been a lot easier to control because you can kind of see it going through that progression if you let it warm up a little bit slower. Sorry about that was really loud. But I would also recommend removing the pocket clip when you do. I don't think those screws are titanium, although the pocket clip is. And so I would remove that as well, and you can do the pocket clip separately if you want. Has a lanyard hole back here so you can add a bead, your favorite bead or whatever you want, and really nice size for putting in pouches. I've been a big fan of their pry bars. They're some of the pry bars that I carry the most, and I have a ton of them because of those previous like mystery bags that they do. Haven't done one in a while, but ended up with a ton of these pry bars. And so just for an example, they have these 2-inch, they call them the Widgie pry bars, and these are available in steel or titanium. I believe the one on the end is titanium, the other 3 are steel, but have a nice keychain hole. These are pretty small, so they fit on a keychain well. Not going to be able to get as much leverage, but they do have a nice edge on those so you can get into small spaces, a little nail puller, and again, really compact. They come in some other sizes. You can get 3-inch, same thing, steel or titanium. This is a curved model. They also did a Cerakote model for a while. I don't think those are still available, but they were selling those in the past. And so hopefully they'll make a comeback because I do like the Cerakote version. You can also get a straight version instead of the curved. I prefer the curved usually, but the straight ones are really nice, especially if you're going to put it on a keychain, because they don't poke out as much. So when you put your hand in your pocket, you're less likely to get scraped by that. It's not going to cut you. It's not that sharp, but you definitely just randomly will feel the curved ones, and this one not so much. The other advantage is if you put it into a pouch, those curved ones are sticking out a little bit, might scratch the gear on the opposite side of wherever you put it. And so this flat one, you're not going to run into that problem, although it does have a harder time sitting into straps because the curved ones, it keeps it from sliding past a certain point with that curve. These ones, it will not, and they're relatively thin, so it needs to be pretty snug in there for it not to slide out. Lastly, they have a 4-inch version in both the straight and curved as well, also steel or titanium. And so again, one of the ones I carry the most, they're not super expensive, I don't remember the price, but under $20 I believe for most of those models. And so pretty cheap, and if you destroy them, lose them, not a big deal, but they hold up really well and work for most tasks. Now last item, kind of got on a tangent on pry bars for a second there, but last item is the Signator Titanium Permanent Marker Vault. And so you call it a vault because besides storing a permanent marker, you can just pull that out and use this as a cache system to store small gear and random items, pills, needles, lockpicks, whatever you want. It's got a decent amount of space, and so you can store that in there, but it does come with a Sharpie already installed. For the most part, these just slide in here. You can see it's nice and snug. But this one does have some tape on there, and they recommend testing out the Sharpie if you need to buy a replacement. Just test it out, put it in there. If it's not snug, throw a single piece of tape around there to hold it in place, and that should hold it in place. The reason for that is although the titanium is machined to a very specific diameter, the plastic on the Sharpies, they're not that worried about the exact size, and so some will be smaller, some will be larger, and it's plastic, and so you're going to get a little bit of variation, and they're not super worried about that because they're not putting it into a case. So as long as that cap fits well, everything sticks together, they're good with it. But that might mean that some of them are smaller than others, and so might need that piece of tape. Now, I picked this up for a couple of reasons. One, the raindrop pattern on it I think looks really nice and should take anodization well as well, and so this is also titanium. The other reason is I recently did a video on the Soul-Built Marksmith. It's a bolt action permanent marker that takes a Sharpie insert. And so in the video I mentioned that I like the idea of that bolt action over a case for a regular Sharpie if you were going to carry a permanent marker in your EDC and want something a little bit nicer because of the one-handed operation, but really wanted to test that theory, prove it out, and if I was wrong, correct myself down the road. But so far I think that's still true. Definitely this can be open one-handed. It's easier if you get it started. Can be open one-handed, but it's slow, it's cumbersome, and not easy to do. Much simpler to just do it two-handed. And so that part I think will be true. I'm going to continue to carry both of them just to make sure that I really do prefer that one. But this one is really nice still with that cap. It is two-handed opening, which is fine. But the other real disadvantage to this version is that that cap is separate. It doesn't fit on the end. It's not threaded on the end or anything to attach it there. So you have to set it down where you risk losing it, throw it in your pocket, where you have to fish it out at the end, or really just keep track of it, keep it in your other hand, and have no hands to really do anything. And so it's just a little bit of an annoyance more than anything. It's not a deal breaker, but obviously same issue with a real Sharpie, although with a real Sharpie I think you can put it on the back a little bit better. And so there is one advantage to having the separated cap though that I hadn't thought of at the time. I don't even think it was on this pen, someone mentioning it on a different version that wasn't titanium, is that they liked that the cap was removable because people ask them to borrow their Sharpie all the time and they don't get it back. And so what they'll do is take that off. Someone asks for their pen, they give it to them, but they don't give them the cap. And so this is going to roll away if you set it down without the cap because it doesn't have the pocket clip attached anymore. So it kind of rolls on flat surfaces. They can't put it in their pocket because that's going to bleed into the cloth. And so it kind of forces them to say the most convenient thing to do would be give this back. And with this case at $59 or something like the Soul-Built Marksmith at $119, you really don't want to have this stolen, and it makes really great bait because they look good and are a little bit on the pricier side. So one advantage there, although I think I still prefer that bolt action version, it is nice to kind of have that collateral to make sure that you get that back. So that's everything that I picked up in this order. Let me know what you think of the items that I chose, if there's anything else you'd recommend I pick up. My next order will probably be the miniature version of this, which dropped, I think they call it the Junior Signator, or Signator Junior, which dropped I think the day after I ordered it, and so it wasn't on the site when I ordered it, but then I got an email the next day that it was available, and that one's around $45. I want to get that one. It takes the mini Sharpies and try and match the anodization on both of them, so I have a full size and a mini version, but that'll probably be my next order, but may throw some other items in that order as well. But thanks again for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification button, and as always, hope you have a great one. Take care.